bill at my mom's residence.
Two, actually, electric and gas.
Yeah, but Illinois' electric and gas is one bill.
What's the total amount?
It was $1,500, but $200 of that bill was already my remaining bill.
What I have here and that you submitted, the bill says $1,501.11. Now, there is some sporadic payment on that account, it looks like. And it's also apparent that most of the time the complete bill was not paid.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the defendant. You made out your case. Why?
Why? First of all, Judge Joe Brown, she was staying with me at the first residence.
For God's sake, she turned 18 and moved out about, right as she gets grown.
No, she didn't, Your Honor. She was staying with me at the time. She had her own job.
She just turned 18.
She was 18. We moved from one residence to an apartment building to make it cheaper. She's the oldest of 5. I explained to her when we moved in, from her income and our rent went up. So I explained to her they were doing work on the other house, that we would have to move back into the house in order. So the bills were on in my name in the apartment where she stayed with us and also worked. I explained to her after being there for 6 or 7 months that we would have to move back into the house. In order to do that, the bills would have to be in her name at the house.
Why?
Because I already had an outstanding bill at the apartment. In order to move, you would have to have the bill current. So if they were working on a house and the utilities needed to be on, I couldn't transfer them from my house to the apartment back to the house. So I explained that to her when we were moving in order
After the fact, did she go down to the utility company and sign anything?
No, sir, you don't have to. It's done over the phone. And she was aware of it.
That's not true.
That is true in Illinois. You do not have to go to the...
They send you some documentation.
No, they do not. Not in the state of Illinois.
First off, I am familiar with the state of Illinois.
And what I'm explaining in the state of Illinois...
So when did you sign her name? You forged her name. You indicated that was you on the paperwork.
I didn't forge her name. She was aware of the bill when we were moving.
She didn't sign anything. So how is somebody who is in her 18th year, has no standing with the utility company, never having had a service before, going to be able to call in and for the first time get service?
Okay, she didn't, but she was aware that I was calling in.
So you went down and either signed the paperwork there or they mailed it to you. You signed it and sent it back. So how did it work out?
It didn't. There was no going down, Your Honor. I told you that it has to be done over the phone. You don't go. We don't have a utility company in Illinois. It was one in East St. That's not. You do everything over the phone.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
You judging me? You don't even know me.
I am judging you. That's what my job has been for a long time.
But the point of it is that you don't know our situation.
I know your situation.
No, you think you know the situation.
Bad girls you love to hate today on Judge Joe Brown.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case said she was trying to qualify for a housing program when she discovered her mother had tapped into her credit. She says the defendant opened utility accounts in her name and ran up the bills. Let's see what the judge has to say.
Well, how about the rest of what you say? You say you were paying on the bill until plaintiff, your daughter, prematurely cut off your power without warning. So now you say you shouldn't have to pay. Well, didn't you sort of prematurely sign her on without warning? You're about to get a heavy bill.
And she did not give me warning.
You're nice, young, 10 to 20 years old. You're trying to go to school and work to support yourself. Hey, guess what? I didn't mean to let it sneak up on you, but you got $1,500
bill at my mom's residence.
Two, actually, electric and gas.
Yeah, but Illinois' electric and gas is one bill.
What's the total amount?
It was $1,500. But $200 of that bill was already my remaining bill.
What I have here and that you submitted, the bill says $1,501.11. Now, there is some sporadic payment on that account, it looks like. And it's also apparent that most of the time the complete bill was not paid.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the defendant. You made out your case. Why?
Why? First of all, Judge Joe Brown, she was staying with me at the first residence.
For God's sake, she turned 18 and moved out about, right as she gets grown.
No, she didn't, Your Honor. She was staying with me at the time. She had her own job.
She just turned 18.
She was 18. We moved from one residence to an apartment building to make it cheaper. She's the oldest of 5. I explained to her when we moved in, from her income and our rent went up. So I explained to her they were doing work on the other house, that we would have to move back into the house in order. So the bills were on in my name in the apartment where she stayed with us and also worked. I explained to her after being there for 6 or 7 months that we would have to move back into the house. In order to do that, the bills would have to be in her name at the house.
Why?
Because